stand? Good evening. What a great turnout. Thanks so much for being here. Welcome to the 2016 Adult Education Graduation and Volunteer Recognition event. My name is Scott Wallner, and I am the Assistant Director of Community Education for the St. Cloud Area Public Schools. As part of my role, I oversee what's called the Central Minnesota Adult Basic Education Consortium. And the acronym you might hear a few times tonight is ABE. Central Minnesota ABE is a partnership between 16 school districts, including the 3 right here in this area, St. Cloud, Sauk Rapids Rice, and Sartell St. Stephen, and also several other districts throughout the region. Locally, we have adult learning sites at Discovery School in Waite Park, the Hillside School in Sauk Rapids, the Mary Center next to the Basilica downtown, the La Cruz Community Center, which is in South St. Cloud, at Belle Claire Estates, which is out in St. Joseph, and we have a site right here at the Great River Regional Library. In these and other locations, adults study to improve their English skills, learn parenting, and/or citizenship skills, brush up on their reading, writing, math, and/or earn a high school credential, either a GED or a high school diploma. I would also like to take just a minute to welcome an additional 10 school districts, which were called the former Freshwater ABE districts, who will be joining our program beginning on July 1st of this year. All of these school districts are north of the St. Cloud area and include places such as Little Falls, Staples Motley, Royalton, and Pierce. This will bring our total to 26 districts that will make up Central Minnesota Adult Basic Education. So you are part of a much larger program. Is there anyone here from Freshwater tonight? I think we have, oh, there's Amy. Hi, Amy. And do we have one graduate here from Freshwater? Oh, there he is, yes. Welcome. Great to have you here. I am using Freshwater. You're probably like, where's Freshwater? Right? Really nice to have you here, and we're really looking forward to working with you in the future. Tonight we take time to celebrate the class of 2016. Singer-songwriter Jackson Browne once said, "Opportunity dances with those who are already on the dance floor." And during these past months, you've decided to be on the dance floor and not standing on the sidelines. You've persisted, you've been engaged, you've overcome obstacles, and you've taken charge of your own learning. This evening we celebrate your efforts and accomplishments, and we know you are moving forward into a bright future. Congratulations. Assisting our adult learners in their goals are not only a group of educational professionals, many of whom are here this evening, but also dozens of trained tutor volunteers who generously donate their time, talents, and energy to this meaningful endeavor. Our volunteers help us to greatly expand our capacity and to serve adult learners more effectively. We are here tonight not only to celebrate our ABE graduates, but to also thank our volunteers for their many, many hours of dedicated service. So thank you, volunteers, and thank you for being here this evening. We have a number of dignitaries that are here with us tonight, and I'd like to pass the microphone along and just ask them to introduce themselves and to please identify your organization.
Bruce Hanchus, School District 742 School Board.
Good evening. I'm Gary Ganjay. I'm Executive Director of Technology and District Support Services for St. Cloud School District.
Hello, I'm Debbie Erickson, District 742 School Board.
Hello, I'm Alicia Jepson, Director of Early Childhood Education in the St. Cloud Schools.
Hello, I'm Nicole Wilkie, Director of Community Education for Sauk Rapids Rice.
Good evening and congratulations, Dan Bittman, Superintendent in Sauk Rapids Rice.
Good evening. My name is Tamara Tice, and I represent District 14A, which is St. Cloud's, Wake Park, and St. Augusta, and I'm a member of the Minnesota House of Representatives.
Good evening. My name is Jerry Ralph. I'm a candidate for the State Senate for Senate District 14. That's the Greater St. Cloud area, and pleased to be here this evening. Thank you very much.
Good evening, I'm Mark Hauk. I'm with the Sauk Rapids Rice Independent School District 47 on the school board. I'm also serving as board chair this year.
I'm Al Dahlgren, and with the St. Cloud 742 School Board.
Good evening, Willie Jett, Superintendent, St. Cloud Area Schools.
Let's give them a nice round of applause. I'd like to now turn the microphone over to Jane Stevenson. Jane is our volunteer coordinator, social worker, intake specialist, and does a tremendous job recruiting, training, and supporting our volunteers. So please welcome Jane.
Thank you very much. I have a great privilege of working with a wonderful group of individuals, be it staff members, volunteers, and students. It's a terrific place to work. I'm really proud to be a part of it. I'd like to share some of our highlights from this past school year. We've had 97 volunteers between May 2015 and April 2016 at our 6 different sites that Scott had mentioned earlier. That's 22,024 hours. Based on an average of 2520 from the independent sector, that's a financial value of over $555,000, as well as positively impacting our students and connecting us with the community. According to a Points of Life study, volunteering helps build a more cohesive, safer, stronger community, increase the social network between communities and the neighborhood. This year we had 47 new volunteers. 13 of our volunteer tutors went through the 12-hour certification training, and our volunteers range in age from 18 to 90. Some of our volunteers come in 1 time a week, others are there 20 hours a week or more. They act as classroom assistants, citizenship instructors, interpreters, one-to-one tutors. They do assessments, they lead small groups, a whole variety of different tasks that staff alone would never be able to do without this. Two of our volunteers were recognized at this year's Partners in Education Award ceremony for District 742. Irene Callahan and Mara Faulkner are both tutors at Discovery. Irene was a tutor with our evening program and has been there since 2007, and Mara has been tutoring since 2013. One of our students has written an essay about how the volunteer tutor that she works with, and I'd like to share part of that right now. The importance of volunteer. A volunteer is someone who voluntarily offers himself or herself and their time for a service without getting pay in order to satisfy other needs. Volunteering is amazing and can change many people's lives. I can say that based on my own experience. My tutor is a wonderful retired woman who is offering her time and her knowledge at ABE as a volunteer. She is the one helping me every Monday between 8:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m., and this is for free. She does help other people as well. I'm so thankful for all the people who volunteer to help me and others in many ways. I'm especially thankful to all volunteers at Adult Basic Education. Some of our volunteers have shared their thoughts on how volunteering impacts them. These sound bites are posted in our reception room, so please take a look at them as you're enjoying our treats after this ceremony. A Points of Light study has also found that volunteering has a positive effect on the volunteers as individuals. It helps increase their self-esteem, enhance various skills and capacities, expand career paths, and be healthier physically and mentally. I'd like all the volunteers who are in the audience to please stand and be recognized. Thank you so much for sharing your time and talents with our student staff on our program. Also thanks to a wonderful ABE staff, Director Scott, teachers and staff, and a special thanks to our site coordinators. We have Naomi at the Great River Regional Library, Melissa at Hands Across the World, and Kelly at Bruce. Thank you very much.
I can't remember who is introducing our volunteer or our student speakers. Deborah. Deborah McAllister, ladies and gentlemen, is going to introduce our student speakers.
Thank you. I have the pleasure tonight of introducing 4 very brave graduates who are willing to come up here and share their stories. And it's something I know that's usually the best part of our ceremony. First up, we have Cecilia Nava, and she earned her high school diploma this year.
Good evening, my name is Cecilia Nava. I have been attending ABE classes for about 3 years. I decided to get my diploma so I can feel I accomplished something in life. I did have some obstacles in my way. This gets so emotional. One of them was I needed a place to leave my kids while I was in school. But after I found a place to leave them with was family literacy, and without them I wouldn't be here. After knowing that my kids were in a safe place, they were my biggest motivation to continue with to get my diploma. I want them to see that education is important. And they helped my kids a lot. Well, they were working hard with them, educating them. I was working hard on my diploma. Family literacy staff worked with my daughter and my son with their development, with their education. I have accomplished a goal of getting a high school diploma. I am currently also working as a certified nursing assistant, and I will continue working in the medical field once getting my diploma. I will continue working with that. I would like to give a big thanks to all my teachers. Without them, I wouldn't be here. They helped me on my math, especially more on my math because I'm so hard for me, and I had a lot of help with my math. I would also like to give a big thanks to Family Literacy. I would like people to come and look at Family Literacy, so to see what they do with all the kids. They help them out a lot, not just me, but especially with most of the kids. They get a lot of education, and we'd like to invite people to volunteer to come and look at Family Literacy, what they do with their kids. Thank you. Thank you so much for all my teachers.
Thank you, Cecilia. Our next speaker is Darren Johnson. He earned a GED and a high school diploma this year.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Darren Johnson. Before ABE, I worked at a small family-owned manufacturing company. The work was good. I was getting promotions, getting raises, and the owner, Gus, and I had a great working and personal relationship. But in 2009, Gus was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. So the founder and key member, after time, was no longer to carry out that lead role. And I could see that the dynasty built was starting to lose its identity. And it was just going to be a matter of time before I needed to go find another job or a career. It was pretty fearful with no education. So I talked to a career planner, and that even scared me more. He overwhelmed me with going to school, and I wasn't used to going to school, so it was really frightening. But I still wasn't able. It was too scary to do anything about it. So I just sat and kept working, and 5 years later, the place went out of business, and I was laid off from my job. So then I was forced to make some decisions. And I went to the workforce center, and they gave me they said, go get your GED. They gave me the number to adult basic education. And I'll tell you, I wasn't looking forward to that call, because I heard the stuff in the past that I was fearful of. But when I called ABE to set up an appointment, it was a little uncomfortable. Taking these tests and figuring out what place you sit, what you have to do to get your diploma. But after a while, they turned an uncomfortable situation into an I can do attitude. So I'm grateful, very grateful to the adult education. They're a big part of the start of my success, because I'm not going to stop here. They've proven to me that if I show up, they will go above and beyond to help you finish your dreams. So I have a real big place in my heart for teachers, the teachers at ABE, and how they contribute to not only the school, but the community. It helps the community so much. So thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Sogorna Abela, and I would like to share a few thoughts with you tonight. Maya Angelou once said, I
I did then what I knew how to do. Now that I know better, I do better. I came to the United States when I was 19, and I only got a chance to go to high school for only 1 year. By the time I was 20, I couldn't finish my high school because I was older, and I was older than the cutoff age. So I decided to work and then got pregnant, and then I became a full-time mom. I tried taking the GED, but didn't pass. When the diploma program started, I wanted to try it. The diploma program, the diploma students who are immigrants have a greater difficulty mastering their diploma program because English is not their first language. So I decided, because English is not their first language. Thankfully to these teachers at the ABE Discovery are amazing. Joe, Drew, and Lori, they used real-life examples to explain math difficulties. Renee cracks the whip to make sure all your writing samples are perfect. And Charity, she has so much patience and taking students through the computer literacy. Deb has so much caring and makes everyone in the family literacy feels welcome. And her methods of teaching English is so incredible. Tamara is a rock star writing and a speech presentation. I have felt privileged to work with all these teachers here. This diploma process has shaped me into a better, stronger person who will be motivated to finish college. Thank you also to my family. A special thanks to my daughter who has to wake up every day in the morning to go to the babysitter. Thank you also to my family and friends, especially my friends who have supported me through this process. And to my classmates who have not finished yet, I encourage you guys to keep working. You'll get there. Lastly, I would like to thank the people in the family literacy. Nikki, Carrie, and the staff who have helped educate my daughter while I was working on my diploma. Without their help, I would not be here today. I did then what I knew how to do. Now that I know better, I do better.
Thanks for your kind words, Ivana. Last but not least, Kaya Lair also received a high school diploma this term.
Hello, my fellow classmates. My name is Kaya Lair. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, keep moving forward." It has been a long journey that has been a benefiting one to all of us, but we have taken those steps. I have found in my life that little steps can make a huge difference. Little steps that we had to take to get to this point have not gone unnoticed. I myself dropped out of high school thinking that I could do anything without consequence. I was wrong. I left Apollo in December of 2010 thinking, I don't need a high school diploma. I spent 4 years doing nothing but fooling around, hanging out with the wrong crowd. I was doing things that I should not have done. In 2011, I moved out of Minnesota to Fresno, California, trying to get a new start. It really didn't happen that way. I tried to go to school in Fresno, but I did not succeed. Later that year, I moved back to St. Cloud, Minnesota. Between the end of 2011 and 2014, I did much of nothing. In April of 2014, I joined the Place of Hope Women's Program. That program taught me patience and how to take positive steps to get my life back on track. The staff, Jessica and Iowa, helped me get into Hillside to start that first step, to get my diploma. Once a week, I would go to school, gather up assignments, and complete them at home. Graduation day at Place of Hope. Gretchen, my teacher at Hillside, came to my graduation. I had joined Karen's classes and watched the credits roll off the page. When I first started at Hillside, I did not want to be there and doing those classes because I thought it was pointless, but soon learned it was a step to success. Now that I'm here, standing at this podium, giving this speech, it is hard to believe that I, myself, the stubborn one, could have graduated from high school. Lao Tzu once said, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. We did it, class of 2016. We have made it to this point. We have graduated.
You know, how many of you heard of the Gallup poll people? Anybody heard of Gallup poll? They go out and they ask people on the street, what do they think about this or that, and then they put the results together. Gallup does surveys quite often, and they'll ask people, what is your greatest fear in life? What do you think number one is? No. Oh. Here I thought I was going to pull one over on it. Actually, death is number one. Public speaking is number two. Let's give our public speakers another round. And before we present diplomas this evening to our adult learners, I'd like to say thank you to a couple of my staff who will be retiring at the end of this current school year. Sherry Clare, who coordinates our database, started with us as a volunteer at the Hands Across the World site and was officially hired about 5 years ago. Sherry's role has been to manage all the data that is required of us by both the Department of Education and the federal government, and it is a mountain of data. Sherry has been an excellent problem solver, has maintained a very accurate database, and has done so with a good sense of humor. So Sherry, thank you and congratulations. Will you give her a hand? Now I'll let you know she's having her hip looked at. She's not here. And ABE teacher Deborah McAllister has been an integral part of our program for almost 30 years. Deb has taught family literacy, GED preparation, English as a second language, citizenship, skills enhancement, reading, writing, math, and other subject areas as needed or invented. During the course of her career, Deb has been responsible or partially responsible for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of graduates. And I tried to go back and look at our records since Deb's inception. Our records are a little sketchy prior to 1995, but I would guesstimate we've had about 2,000 graduates since Deb's arrival here in adult basic education. In 1992, she helped secure the original funding to begin our family literacy initiative in St. Cloud, a program that is still in operation today. And through the years, Deb has not only served tirelessly as a teacher, but also a counselor, coach, supporter, colleague, and all-around do-gooder. Deb is one of the finest educators I've ever known. Please give her a round of applause. Now, if this were the private sector, this is where I would bring Deb up and give her a gold watch or something, or an automobile or something, but Deb, I'd like to offer you an adult beverage after work prior to you leaving. Next, I'd like to invite Meg Patridge and Lori Leach to the podium to introduce our graduates.
Cecilia Nava.
Darren Johnson. Obona Abena. Kaya Laird. Joanna Lizette Canales. Michaela Cedillo. Lisa Gensland. Ira Curtis Hoffman. Cody Jansen. Jerica Jenkins. Lucero Oteo Juarez. Marshawn Marquise Martin. Min Win. Paul Olson. Ashley Marie Osmondson. Dane Gregory Petron. Mariah K. Schlichting. Stephanie Schmitz. Cassandra
Let's hear it again for the class of 2000. You know, before we send our AB graduates out into the world to do great things, I'd like to thank all the learners, the staff, the volunteers, the stakeholders, and community partners for making this an outstanding programming year. During 2015-16, Central Minnesota ABE served over 1,900 adults for almost 125,000 hours of class time. I'd also like to thank the staff who were hired this afternoon setting up for this wonderful event. I want to give a special shout out to Monica Sampi, who coordinated this entire event. And I also want to thank you, the audience, for giving love and support for the class of 2016. Will you give yourself a hand, please? We'd also like to welcome all of you to stay afterward for some refreshments. We have some food and refreshments right in the hallway. And now I'd like the graduates to please stand. Make sure your tassel is on the left side. I know we go through this every year. I Googled it, so I'm sure it has to start on the left side. Now we'll move it left to right. And ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the graduating class of 2006.